Hi, if you are getting ready to do a track day at MSR Houston with RideSmart, this video might come in handy. In this video, you'll learn how a round-robin session works, how we're going to be getting on and off the track, and you'll also be learning a little bit about the track map, the corner names, and things like that. As you come out of the classroom, you're probably going to be in level 1, 1.5, or 2. You're going to be coming out of the classrooms that are in one of these buildings, back to the paddock, wherever you are set to go get the bike, and then right out to the staging area. This is the way that you take to get to the staging area. When you're in class, you're likely to see a track map that looks like this. Do not get fooled by the numbers of the corners, because it's numbered when you go clockwise. But here, for track days with RideSmart, we ride counterclockwise. So make sure to memorize the corner names instead. For round robin, we are always following an instructor, so we get on a line that follows an instructor and try to follow as close as safely possible. As you're about to enter the track, make sure to look to your right and see if there are no other bikes already on the track coming on your way. You don't want to get on their way, of course. Here we're coming through the section called gut check. As we are going at a slower speed, make sure to look up and look for reference markers. Get used to where the axes are on the track surface, where some cones are to indicate apexes and things like that. May also take the time to identify spots or patches that you have on a track surface, because you can use those as reference markers as you're coming at a faster pace. This is a section called the bus stop, which leads us to a corner known as the sweeper. Takes us to the fastest part of the track. Make sure to pay attention to where the instructor is going, because sometimes the rider in front of you is not following the instructor's line really close, and you definitely want to do what the instructor is doing at this point. Again, take this time to look up and look for reference markers. Like here we see some towers. You may be able to use those towers as a reference, so that when you're coming at a faster pace, it's easy for you to look up and see those things in the distance. Should also use this time to get used to being back on the bike again. Maybe you haven't ridden for a while, so get used to your bike again, how it feels being on it. As we approach this section of the track, so we completed one lap, this is the time when we switch, and the rider who's right behind the instructor, he's gonna move over to the right, and then all the way back. Remember this, you move over to the right and fall back to the back of the line, and then you join in following the instructor up close. This is a section called Sugar and Spice. It's a double apex right-hander. almost a triple apex, because once you're turned in, you come all the way to this section, and then here, this left-hander is again called the gut check. Drive off to the edge of the track, and then as you continue pretty much straight, even though the track's gonna go right, you're gonna come straight to come almost to the middle of the track, and then go over this section called the launch, followed by this left-hander, which takes us into this section called the Keyhole. Another left-hander, you drive all the way to the edge of the track and then back to set you up to this corner called the bus stop. Right-hander, left-hander, and then again on the sweeper. Stay tight here on the right, and then you let the bike drift over to the left as you pick up on the gas. Again, at normal pace. This is the fastest part of the track. A lot of people have a tendency to like brake hard here. Not necessary. Usually just drop a gear, turn in to the right, and then as the bike comes up right, you go harder on the brakes, and then get into the section called Diamond's Edge, which is another double apex right-hander. From here, this leads you to this other relatively fast stretch that takes us to the next section, which is called the Carousel. The Carousel is a long left-hander. Which is kind of tricky. You have to find a place where you need to drift over to the right, and then eventually come back to the left to make this right-hander called jawbone. You want to make sure that you are pointing the right direction. So get on this straight, and then again, as the instructor indicates that we should rotate, you move over to the right and then rejoin the line at the back. Alright, towards the end of the session, or towards the end of any session, whenever you come here out of the Diamond's Edge section, this is the part where if you're going to be pitting in, that's where you're going to raise your left hand to indicate to riders coming behind you that you're going to be pitting in at the end of this lap. So you do that in this section of the track. You go into the carousel just normal, right? You stay on the line. The main difference being that instead of, at the end of the session, instead of drifting to the right, you're going to just stay on the left. By doing so, it will take you back to the pits. As you can see here, staying to the left of those cones, getting back to the pit lane. And of course, you go through that same way to get back to the paddock area, wherever you are set up. Of course, at the end of the session, you're going to put your bike back where you're all set, and then head back to class, because of course there's a lot to be learned from the instructors back in class. I hope to be riding with you sometime soon. See ya!